Yo, what up? Welcome back to another edition of Mike on Sports. I am your host. I go by the name of Mike Gross, man. Big up to that 501-317 Little Rock, Indianapolis. We are in the building. And today we'll be talking about a little bit of football. Excuse me. And week 14. Week 14 is in the books. Had some good games over this past weekend. We've seen a damn good game down in New Orleans with the 49ers and the Saints. Also, we've seen Lamar Jackson keep on with his winning ways, and we've seen the Los Angeles Rams have some success against the Seattle Seahawks last night. But let's start first thing first, man. Y'all know what it is. If y'all new to the channel and you guys want to take a second out and just support the channel, that's how you do so right there. Big up to the NFL. Smash that thumbs up button. And man, let's get to the good shit, right? First game, we will be reviewing the Giants and Eagles tonight, but that will be last. Thursday night football. The Bears beat the Cowboys 31-24 in a game that I watched, man. The Cowboys were never really like in a game. They started putting points on the board in the fourth quarter. Uh, Dak had an okay game, but their defense let Chicago go up and down the field and pretty much do what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to Mitchell Trubisky and the Chicago Bears edging out the Dallas Cowboys. And for all you Cowboys fans, man, I really gotta, you know what I'm saying, like have a soft spot for you guys, man. You guys go through so much, and your team sucks. Like your team actually is like no good. Cowboys ain't been good in like 23, 24 years. You guys need to get off that cowboy hype train and give back that name of America's team, cause definitely, in my opinion, does not deserve to be called America's team when your whole past couple of decades have been nothing but mediocrity, nothing but it, up and down. You guys are not good. Moving on. The Falcons played the Carolina Panthers with a camless Panther team. I will probably be doing a show on Cam Newton and him possibly getting traded from the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, man, all in all, the Falcons came out there and really beat up on the Panthers, 40-20. Matt Ryan was 20 out of 34, 313 yards. Devontae Freeman had 17 carries, 84 yards, and one touchdown. And the Olamide Zachary Seuss had one reception, 93 yards, one touchdown. First catch of the his NFL career went for a touchdown, and that is the longest first catch in NFL history for a score. So big up to them. Now let's get into some games that I sat down and actually gave the time to watch and gave my motherfucking energy to. Oh yeah, L. Jack back in this motherfucker. Lamar Jackson, man, out here balling, man, out here doing his motherfucking thing. Look, man, I know it's like week in and week out. I come out here and say the same thing, man. Say what you want to about Lamar. He keeps on getting the job done and doing it at a efficient clip, man. 16 out of 25, 145 yards, three touchdowns, one interception, only sacked one time, QBR of 35, and a passer rating of 102. Mark Ingram out here 15 carries, 40 yards. Lamar Jackson 11 carries, 40 yards. Gus Edwards 4 carries, 20 yards, and Justice Hill with 3 carries, 8 yards. Shout out to that Bills defense keeping that high-powered Russian offense in check for only 118 yards total. That's really saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? They're normally able to run the ball up and down that field. So big up to that Buffalo defense. Josh Allen, 17 out of 39, 146 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions, six sacks. Six sacks by the Ravens defense, so great job by the Ravens defense. 14 QBR and a 62 passer rating from Josh Allen. Devin Singletary had 17 carries, 89 yards. Frank Gore had 4 carries, 6 yards. The ageless Frank Gore, man, keeps getting the job done. Hayden Hurst on the receiving end for Baltimore had 3 receptions, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. Mark Ingram had 3 receptions, 29 yards. And we had Mark Andrews with 1 for 14. Willis Snead caught the other touchdown, and Nick Boyle caught the other touchdown for Lamar Jackson. Buffalo Dawson Knox had one reception, 37 yards. And Cole Beasley had 4 for 29 and one touchdown. And we had Devin Singletary who had 6 for 29. And also John Brown had 3 for 23. What can I say about that game, man? Kind of a defensive struggle. We've seen both teams kind of have problems moving the ball up and down the field, but big ups to the Ravens defense, man, 6 sacks, and big ups to Lamar Jackson keeping his team in it, man, and just propelling them to another victory. They sit at top of the AFC playoff picture. They are the number one seed, and we'll see if they can hold on to that number one seed going into the playoffs. Don't forget, if you're listening right now on YouTube, take a second out and smash that thumbs up button. It really helps with the visibility of the show. Helps put me in front of more and more people so that this channel can grow more and more and reach that 1,000 milestone that I so want to reach. Moving right along, the Bengals play the Browns. The Bengals play the Browns. The Browns win 27-19. A lot of different storylines came out of that game. Like we had them talking about, well, we had Baker Mayfield talking about the Odell Beckham injury, who has a sports hernia kind of injury, saying that he feels like that the training staff mishandled Beckham's injury, and he feels like that it could have been handled better. Then he came about an hour later and backtracked and said he did not mean to throw the training staff under the bus, but yeah, man. A lot of things going on in that Cleveland franchise, and it goes to show you, man. It wasn't the coach last year. It wasn't the coach, man. Possibly, and just that franchise is cursed and is always going to be cursed. But let's talk about the game. Andy Dalton, 22 out of 38, one interception with a 19 QBR and a 68 passer rating. We also had Joe Mixon, 23 carries, 146 yards, one touchdown. So big day from Joe Mixon. Baker Mayfield, 11 out of 24, 192 yards, two interceptions, sacked one time with a QBR of 52 and a passer rating of 38. They're not a very good day from Baker Mayfield, man. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see from possibly your
funny face sandwiches. We're good at
possibly.
So start with Indiana.
Possibly like your franchise quarterback. So he definitely got to get better. He's regressed in his second year, not looking like the player that we once saw, not looking like the player that had a lot of promise last year. But one player who does look like he still has that promise, Nick Chubb, 15 carries, 106 yards. Also, Kareem Hunt had 9 for 28 and one touchdown, and Baker Mayfield had 2 for 13 with one touchdown. Jarvis Landry, 4 receptions, 76 yards. Kareem Hunt, 2 receptions, 40 yards. Odell Beckham, 2 for 39. Ricky Seals-Jones, 1 for 22. Nick Chubb, 1 for 11. And for the Bengals, we had Tyler Boyd with 5 for 75, Tyler Eifert with 4 for 49, Alex Erickson with 5 for 45, Joe Mixon 3 for 40, and Giovanni Bernard with 2 for 31, and John Ross III with 2 for 28. So big ups to the Cleveland Browns, man, getting the win, but we expected more from a team having that much talent, and we expected Baker Mayfield to do a better job of leading those guys into battle, but they got the win. Wasn't pretty. Wasn't a great game to watch. But they got to get better on both sides of the football. Definitely. Green Bay Packers beat the Redskins 20-15 in a game that I did not watch. Aaron Rodgers, what can you say about Aaron Rodgers, man? Continues to get the job done. Got the Packers at 9-3. Definitely a good record. And game got kind of interesting down the stretch. Haskins threw a touchdown pass with an incredible one-hand catch from the receiver. I'm talking about with his left hand. It was a thing of beauty. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out on Twitter or something like that. Vikings beat the Lions 20-7. Really not a game that I'm really too much invested in. Kirk Cousins had another solid day, 20 out of 32, 142 yards, one touchdown. Bo Scarborough had 19 carries, 65 yards, and Stephon Diggs had 6 receptions, 92 yards. The Lions don't have Matt Stafford, so it is going to be a tough out for them to beat anybody. Now, a game that I am ready to rock and roll about, baby. Talking about, we down in the bayou, baby. Down in New Orleans. Yes, sir. What a game between the San Francisco 49ers and the New Orleans Saints, man. Big game, man. Big game from Jimmy G. And it's the kind of statement Jimmy G needed to make to show everybody that he could bring a team back in the last 2 minutes and drive that motherfucking football down the field. He was able to take the 49ers down the field with like 3 timeouts and I believe like a minute and something left to go in the game. They drove the ball from the 25-yard line on down, and they had a couple fourth down that they converted on. So Jimmy Garoppolo definitely got some respect from me yesterday with that performance. Yeah, man, let's start with the winners, man. Jimmy G, 26 out of 35, 349 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 3 times, QBR at 72, and the passer rating of 139. Emmanuel Sanders, man, 1 of 1 threw his touchdown yesterday, 35 yards. Perfect QBR, perfect passer rating. So big ups to Emmanuel Sanders. Oh man, Drew Brees. What can I say about Drew Brees, man? Slicing and dicing, bruh. Drew Brees out here slicing and dicing guys, man. 29 out of 40, 349 yards, 5 touchdowns. Yes, 5 touchdowns with a QBR of 91. Also with a passer rating of 138, man. Big day from Drew Brees, man. Looking good out there, man. Drew Brees out there slinging that football, man. And his favorite target, Michael Thomas, is absolute the #1 receiver in the NFL right now. Julio Jones is hurt. Odell Beckham Jr. not having a great year. Who else is there? Who else is there who is putting up the kind of numbers that Michael Thomas is putting up on a weekly basis? Man, I will wait. That man is out here balling. And I ain't saying nah. He balling. Real shit. Also, rushing, man, we had Raheem Mostert with 10 carries, 69 yards. Matt Breida with 6 carries, 54 yards. Mostert had that 1 touchdown. And Latavius Murray, 7 carries, 69 yards. Alvin Kamara, 13 carries, 25 yards. And the touchdown came from a rush from Drew Brees. Receiving, Emmanuel Sanders' big game. 7 receptions, 157 yards, 1 touchdown. Oh, man, what an amazing catch. He caught the ball, got back up, and was able to get it 7 to the end zone. So big ups to Emmanuel Sanders, man, out here really playing good football, man. Definitely playing good football out there. Let's get out to Debo Samuels, 5 receptions, 76 yards. George Kittle. Woo! Wait, what can I say about George Kittle, man? He looked like a man amongst boys on that 4th down conversion. Still form, dragged the guy 20 yards, really showed his mettle, really showed that he could possibly be the #1 tight end in the game right now. Him and Kelsey, man, neck and neck for being the best right now, man. George Kittle, man, really put that team on his back. And when they needed a big play, he made it a big play. Good pass from Jimmy Garoppolo, but he was wide open, Jimmy. You couldn't miss him. He actually took the ball, punched it downfield, and dragged 3 defenders 20 yards. So big ups to George Kittle. Also, Raheem Mostert had 2 receptions, 40 yards, and Kyle Juszczyk had 3 receptions, 22 yards, and Kendrick Bourne had 3 for 18. Michael Thomas with another solid big game for New Orleans receiving. Had 11 receptions, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. Jared Cook, 2 for 64. Ted Gunn had 4 for 50. And Traquan Smith had 2 for 29 with 1 touchdown. Big up to the Saints offense, man. Really out there putting points up on the board at a tremendous clip. I'm talking about putting points on the board at a tremendous clip. That was a great game to watch. Great game to watch live. Back and forth. The scoring was awesome. And I really think that, man, this is what could possibly be a Super Bowl matchup. But I got the Ravens coming out. And I thought the Seahawks would probably be a good candidate. But I'm leaning towards more of the 49ers now than anybody else. So great game, man. Great game, bro. I enjoyed that fucking game. Down in the bayou, man. And talk about the pressure that was on Jimmy G to try to pull it out. The Saints fans cheering and carrying it on. Like, man, oh, man. Jimmy G came through in a big-time fashion yesterday evening for the 49ers. Jets beat the Dolphins. They won off a field goal. Sam Darnold, 20 out of 36, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. Robbie Anderson, 7 receptions, 160 yards, 1 touchdown. Bilal Powell had 18 carries, 74 yards. The Buccaneers come back in a tight game with the Colts and able to get it done. In the fourth quarter, they had 10 unanswered points in that fourth quarter, where it really puts them on top. Jameis Winston, 33 out of 45, 456 yards and 4 touchdowns. So big day from Jameis. Even though he had a turnover or two, really kept his composure late in that game and was able to drive them down the field and get that winning touchdown. And big ups to the Buccaneers defense, holding the Colts on multiple fourth downs. Broncos surprisingly beat the Texans last night, man. Drew Lock, first time the Broncos have scored 25 plus points in, I believe, the last 20 games. So Drew Lock is out here just playing football, man. Looking real good out there. 22 out of 27, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns. Got his chance, and he's making the best of it right now. Broncos looking good the past couple weeks. Really giving teams some trouble. Carlos Hyde for Houston had 14 carries, 73 yards, and DeAndre Hopkins for Houston had 7 receptions, 126 yards, and 1 touchdown. But one thing we got to talk about, man, Deshaun Watson. Man, Deshaun Watson was under pressure like a motherfucker yesterday. He constantly, week in and week out, he was constantly under pressure. Sacked 3 times. Yesterday, 28 out of 50, 292 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The last interception came kind of late. He was trying to make a play. But yeah, man, it's just I don't like seeing the Deshaun Watson get hit like that. But he did have a nice game on the ground. 6 carries, 44 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Texans got to do a better job of taking care of their prized possession. Can't let them keep getting or taking hits like that. But yeah, man, I don't know what to say, man. I think it's time possibly to move on from Bill O'Brien. I don't think he's the coach to really get the job done for them. What's next on the docket? Let's see. Did that Chargers beat the Jaguars 45-10? Phillip Rivers have a nice stat day, but overall meaningless game. The Chargers not going anywhere anytime soon. And man, talk about a resurgence, man. Ryan Tannehill lead the Titans over the Raiders 42-21. Ryan Tannehill, man, 21 out of 27, 391 yards and 3 touchdowns. And old Mr. Reliable, old steady, Derrick Henry, 18 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the rookie A.J. Brown out of Ole Miss, 5 receptions, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. So all around great day from the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill definitely been playing very well since he's been inserted as a starter. And glad to see them making some noise. And maybe could they possibly sneak up on the Colts and make that like a meaningful game coming down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? I think they play the Colts one more time. So if they're able to beat the Colts and the Texans, so everybody is in the mix in that division. The Raiders, man, what needs to more to be said about the Raiders, man? Oh man. The Steelers beat the Cardinals. Kyler Murray had an okay day, 2 touchdowns, but I just want to focus on the fact that Mike Tomlin, week in and week out, is going in with guys that we never really heard of. Man, Hodge, good quarterback, but I don't think he's going to be a long-lasting starter in this league. James Washington, a good receiver, definitely emerging as being a top receiver, but we don't really know him. We don't know if he's going to be a last. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, man, you got to look at Mike Tomlin and the job that he's been doing with those Pittsburgh Steelers, and you got to admit, it is simply amazing that Mike Tomlin can have this team in the position that he has his team at right now. What the record, like 8-5? Yeah, 8-5, man. No AB, no Big Ben, no Le'Veon Bell, and they still are out here winning games, man. That's the true mark of a good coach. That's the true mark of being a leader of men. And that's the true mark of your guys believing in you. And Mike Thomas has everybody on that team believing in his philosophy, believing in his game plan, and believing in his system that it will work. So big ups to Mike Tomlin, man. I'm thoroughly impressed with what I've seen from the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. And the defense is playing fucking great too. Like, the defense ain't playing bad at all. Like, shit, man. Let Mike get some shit, man. Let Mike try to rebuild and get some good talent down in motherfucking Pittsburgh. Coaching the way he's coaching, They definitely, I can definitely see them winning another Super Bowl. Absolutely. The Chiefs hold off the Patriots 23-16. What can I say about the Chiefs, man? Ever since Mahomes got back, they got back to winning ways. 26 out of 40 for Mahomes, 283 yards, one touchdown, one interception, only sacked once, QBR of 40, passer rating of 83. LaShawn McCoy had 11 carries, 39 yards. Spencer Ware had 5 carries, 11 yards. And Tyreek Hill had 2 carries for 8 yards, and Darwin Thompson had 4 for 7. Patrick Mahomes had 6 for 6, and Travis Kelsey had 1 for 4. So they ran the ball with a lot of people yesterday. Also for receiving for Kansas City, Kelsey, one of the best tight ends in the league, 7 receptions, 66 yards. Tyreek Hill, the fast receiver, six receptions, 62 yards. Sammy Watkins had 4 for 50. Miko Hardman had 1 for 48. Darwin Thompson 4 for 36. Byron Pringle had 1 for 14, and Demarcus Robinson 1 for 12. So Mahomes is definitely spreading that ball out. Rushing for the Patriots, James White. Let's get this Tom Brady stats right quick. Get to the Tom Brady stats right quick, man. Tom Brady was 20 out of 30, 19 out of 36, 169 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, sacked 3 times, a QBR of 39, and passer rating of 63. Yeah, Tom Brady's best days are behind him. He's no longer the quarterback that we see. No longer the quarterback that was doing it for all those years, but still a Hall of Famer and still maybe the greatest quarterback of all time. James White, 6 carries, 33 yards. Tom Brady, 2 for 20. Rex Burkhead, 7 for 15. Brandon Bolden, 1 for 10 with a touchdown. And Sonny Michel, 5 for 8. Julian Edelman, 1 for 8. Receiving, Julian Edelman, 8 for 95. Jacoby Myers, 1 for 35. James White, 5 for 27. Matt Lacroix, 2 for 14. And a whole lot of guys, but just one. They still have Mohamed Sanu Jr. out there. Still got Benjamin Watson. So they got targets. They got James White, Julian Edelman. They got good targets out there. So it's up to Tom Brady to get the job done at a better clip. Let's see what we have next on the docket. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. We have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Los Angeles Rams down in motherfucking good old LA. Man, the Seahawks really let me down last night, man. I feel like they really dropped the ball. I thought that was the perfect game for them. I thought it was a game that they were going to win convincingly. They had a chance to like really keep themselves in that discussion for the NFC West crown, but looks like the San Francisco 49ers may be pulling away with that honors as they beat the Saints yesterday. But Russell Wilson, 22 out of 36, 1 interception, sacked 5 times, QBR of 36, passer rating of 69. Chris Carson, 15 carries, 76 yards. Russell Wilson, 5 for 28. And CJ Prosise, 1 for 2, but he got an injury on that play. Also, Todd Gurley, 23 carries, 79 yards. Robert Woods, 2 for 29. Todd Gurley had a touchdown. Malcolm Brown had 5 carries, 21 yards, 1 touchdown. And Josh Reynolds, 3 for 29. Also, Jared Goff had 2 scrambles for 4 yards. And passing-wise, Jared Goff was 22 out of 31, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions with a QBR of 91 and a passer rating of 95. So, Jared Goff had a pretty solid game. Tyler Higbee, 7 receptions, 116 yards. Robert Woods, 7 receptions, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 4 for 45 with 1 touchdown. And Todd Gurley had 4 for 34. What can I say, man? Yeah, they could never convert the field goals into touchdowns. They settled for 4 field goals in that game, which really didn't accumulate to money points, and they just couldn't find the right game plan to execute and beat the Rams last night. And that's pretty much what it came down to, man. Rams had, every time they got a chance to put the ball in the end zone, they did exactly that. I know Goff had 2 interceptions, but the Seahawks didn't make them pay for it. So big ups to the Rams, you know what I'm saying, who's possibly, you know what I'm saying, might be a player in that division, you know what I'm saying. So
Center looking to build on a 21-9 lead.
so we're definitely going to see. We're definitely going to see. And in Monday Night Football, we got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on, who they taking on? The New York Giants. I don't know who need a team worse. No, I mean who need a win worse, the Giants or the Eagles? Man, Eagles have been a big letdown this year. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Eli Manning is going to be starting tonight. So good to see Eli back in the starting lineup. Haven't been much better since Daniel Jones took over. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys weren't really sold on him. I'm still not sold on him. You know what I'm saying? Never. I know he played with at North Carolina under David Cutcliffe, but yeah, the game's going on right now. Game casted right now. Give you guys a quick box score, tell y'all what's going on. Yeah, man, I don't know who to pick. Breakdown, Eli Manning, Carson Wentz, Saquon Barkley. I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley and the Giants. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they got a better offense, and I feel like if Eli Manning is wanting to prove something to the NFL public, he'll do it tonight on the main stage, Monday Night Football. Well, man, this has been Mike on Sports. I am your host. I go by the name of Mike Gross. Big ups to everybody out there who listen. Big ups to everybody out there in the chat. And until next time, I'm out to the bitch. Yes, sir.